Hello YouTube viewers, can you believe that I am on a roll or something? I wanted to let you know that I got a comment from Esperanza's Body, suggesting the website. Oh my gosh, and now I can't even remember what it was called. But it was Banded Wendy's website, I believe, or new YouTube. I always know exactly what I'm going to say until I start the video, and then it's all craziness. Anyway, it's her YouTube channel, and I guess she posts questions to weight loss surgery. I think it's maybe WLS Works, weight loss surgery works or something. So I'll post the link for it anyway, but I'm drawing a blank on the actual name of it now. But anyway, so here are all of my notes now. Woo, I'm so excited. And then, so I have pages and pages, and I was, thinking I was going to give up on doing videos because I had nothing else to share, and then all it took was, watching one of Banded Wendy's videos, asking some questions that gave me a whole idea of things to talk about. The last video that I posted, or the last couple of videos that I posted, were thoughts about a conversation that I had with a friend recently who was considering pursuing gastric bypass. And so I had talked a couple. You should view the videos if you haven't yet. I'm not going to go into the details about what they were previously about, but I wanted to talk about two things that I don't think I've ever mentioned before, and then I will go ahead and get into the weight loss surgery works questions. There are two thoughts that I had. One of them was that I look back on my pre-op time with a lot of positivity. Like I remember, I was just going back, I think, and viewing some of my videos a while ago. I was thinking about the things that I had talked about in some of my videos, and I remember thinking, what a complaining little brat. Like, I can't get over how negative I was about the process for my insurance to pay for me to have the surgery. And I don't know, maybe it just came across that way to me. I was hypersensitive to it. But I remember recently thinking about my experience going to the psychiatrist, or whatever it was, for the psych eval anyway. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that woman was nutty. The doctor that I saw was not a very, there were very, certain things about the experience that I didn't find to be very professional. But when I think back on my pre-op time and all the steps that I had to go through, the part that impacted me the most was that time for the 4 weeks that I was required to go, that she required that I attend, was, I think, made such a big difference in my post-op success. And I really went into it with the idea that I'm going to say all of the right things, I'm going to do all of the right things, I'm going to show up, I'm going to, I know what they're looking for is that they don't want me to transfer any sort of addiction. They want me to take responsibility for my part in my overweightness, my state of obesity. So I kind of went in going, okay, well, either I'm going to give them all the answers that would tell them how that's not the case for me, or whatever. And I remember leaving thinking, I'm a changed person. I view food differently, I view my body differently, I view my circumstances differently, and I view the relationships that I felt were responsible for my obesity to be different. I blamed certain people in my life, or felt like they shared in part of that blame, when in reality, nobody made me have a second helping. Nobody, I made those choices on my own, even as a child, and so it's very interesting kind of to be in a place now where I can look back and think, gosh, it's really great to know that what I didn't really appreciate at that time um, really made a difference, really made a big difference in my success as far as I believe it to be. I feel like I gained so much from that experience, and even though the person itself, sorry, we're kind of having sunset time behind me, and we've got like storm clouds this way, and it's like they're really cool colors, so I was a little distracted, sorry. But even though I thought that the doctor was a little cuckoo, interestingly enough, in some of her methods or in some of her quirks, I still felt like the homework that she had me do was great. And I'm actually going to pull out my books and I'll reread some of my stuff and see if there's anything that I think would be valuable to share, um, in regards to that. Because I remember thinking like it was, every day I thought, okay, I'm just going to take her homework and I'm going to go home and I'm going to do it. And, I'm just going to snap this thing out because she's asking me to do it. But I wasn't like, my heart wasn't like, I'm going to do this so I can change. It was more like I'm just, paying my dues. I'm checking off the requirements in order to get to that end date of the surgery, and then, beyond that, a healthy life. And when I really got to thinking about how I wanted to answer her questions and stuff, it was really interesting to find how much it really did change me and my views, and seeing my circumstances as what they for what they were. And so I just want to say, for everybody who's going through pre-op stuff, or if anybody has experienced a any sort of a lag, or any sort of a negative thing. I mean, I remember hearing so many people saying that their pre-op psych eval was one visit, and then when I went in and she said, well, I require that you come to me at least 4 times, I remember thinking, that's a month, because I had to go once a week. I couldn't go 4 days in a row. I had to go once a week, and so it was like, that's a month longer than I want to be doing this. And I think I've talked about this in the past too, about how everything was, had its purpose, and everything, was really an entire toolbox of, for my success. They want, they're going to be investing the money into me as a healthcare provider, and the doctor wants to see me succeed. It benefits him for him to have another successful patient. It benefits. I'm thinking on a very selfish level for them. They're selfish thinking maybe, hey, I want this person to succeed because it will make me look good, and I want if we're going to put all this money into this surgery for this person, I want to make sure she succeeds, and all of those things. So even if they're not looking at me on a personal level, wanting me to succeed, it all benefited me personally in order for me to be as successful as I think I have been. So that's just kind of a thought that I had that I really wanted to share with you guys, that if anything comes up in your pre-op stuff, don't get discouraged, and look at it every moment as an opportunity for you to really prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, for the changes that are to come. So because they're so, it's a big deal. So and if anybody has gone through in their pre-op stuff and is now post-op, or even if you're not post-op yet, but if you've experienced something pre-op that you felt was unnecessary or was frustrating or whatever, and you can look back on it now and think, wow, that was really exceptional, or that was really played a really significant part in my journey. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love for you guys to either post a video reply, or put a comment in under this video or something, so that we can all kind of share in what we've learned as individuals in our own journeys. So another thing, I had a couple of things I wanted to share on here, and then I'll probably do another video for this, because this is a lot of information. I may even do 2 videos on that, because there's kind of a 3-part questions from Bandit and Wendy, and then a whole other topic that I was thinking of in the process of doing that. So the other thing I wanted to say is, I remember pre-op thinking to myself, am I too late to take this journey and really enjoy being thin? Like, am I too old? Am I going to be at a place where now, okay, well, I'm thin, but like, I don't really have a life, it is to be like, to enjoy that being thin and being healthy and stuff. I mean, I know that maybe that sounds really weird, but like I remember thinking a lot like, am I gonna be too old? You know, I mean, like I think of a great grandmother who might go in for the surgery, and if it would save her life and prolong her life, great. But other than that, like, what are the chances she's still married to somebody who needs to be physically um, stimulated? I don't know if that's how I'm thinking of it. Like, but there were many times when I thought like, you know, is it too late for me? Is it worth it for me to do it now at this point? Am I still too old? Do I still have enough life ahead of me really to really enjoy and take advantage of the changes that I was going to see? And they were fleeting thoughts, because then it would be like, well, of course, I'm only, you know, 33, 30, I think I was 32 at the time. So, you know, I'm only 32, and so really, is it really that, I mean, of course, that's not, you know, that's not too bold. And, but it was a constant thought that I had. It was a fleeting thought, but it would resurface again and again about whether or not it was really even worth it for me to go through all of this at this stage of my life. Like, one of the consistent things that I hear people say is, I wish I'd had this surgery sooner. I wish I'd had this surgery sooner. And I do. I think that all the time. Like, man, I wish I could have had this surgery when I was, you know, 20 or 25 even, you know, or something. But in reality, I don't know that I would have been as committed to the changes that I need to do. I don't know that I would have been as responsible with the changes I needed to make. You know, I don't know whether that would have changed my paths that I had taken in my life, you know, and so I'm happy that it is the way that it is. But it's interesting, you know, that thought would continue to resurface again about being too old to really take advantage and enjoy it. And being on the other side of that now, I relish every single day of my life in this new body, in this new healthy state, in this new care there, you know. Like, I think about how there is not one day that I wake up that I don't just thank God for the gift of health and the gift of confidence and the gift of energy, and, you know, all of the things that accompanied the surgery and the sacrifices and the you know, the time, the waiting, and the effort that it took to get here. There's not one day that I don't love that I'm here and that I took the journey now, you know. So those are two things that I think I kind of wanted to talk about. If you guys have any comments on anything that I've said, if you guys can relate or you totally don't relate, either way, it would be interesting. I would be happy to hear what you guys have to say about that. Again, I'm going to go ahead and do a second video in a little bit to talk about the three-part questions. The three-part questions are, just so you guys can kind of have a heads up, the hardest part of living with weight loss surgery today, what is that? And then the second part to that is, why is it so hard and how do I deal with it? So I have quite a few ideas that I want to share with you guys about those three things. So again, Esperanza's Body, thank you so much for suggesting this, because I feel kind of like I'm back on a roll. I will be more I'll be more encouraged and excited, and you know, that to respond more frequently. I should have written it down, and when I do my next video, I'll write it down as well, because there were two people who commented on my last video, when I had shared that I wasn't really sure I was going to be doing any more videos. It was Esperanza's Body and one other person, and I'll have to look to see what it was and write it down so I can give you a thanks as well. Because both of you said, one of you was pre-op, one of you was post-op, and they both said, like, you know, I watch your videos all the time, or I'm really glad that you're posting videos again, or, you know, what you have to say is really valuable, in other words. And so that meant a lot to me, because I kind of just assumed that people had stopped watching once I had stopped making the videos. So it's nice to know that that is not the case. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and thanks again for tuning in. Bye.